Andrews, and this is a clarinet. We're going to talk a little bit about how we practice on the clarinet. It's something most of my students seem to groan about, but it doesn't have to be a chore. It is it can be a time-consuming process. It is a meticulous process, but if we practice well, we don't have to practice as much. We don't have to practice as long. You know, you can get done in 20 minutes when you're practicing very well what it might take you an hour and a half to try and accomplish if you're rushing through things. So I'm going to talk a little bit about my process of practice and what I try to encourage in my students. Think about when we think about practicing, we always think about having to work on technical passages, things like there's lots of notes in there, there's some slurs, there's some articulations. And so it takes a little bit of time to work on that. You can't just come to the clarinet and see a passage like that written in a piece of music and expect that you're going to be able to play it right away without a little bit of consideration. I always go back to the Rose Etudes, the Rose Book of Etudes for clarinet, when I'm having students work on anything technical, whether it's legato or articulation or anything. But this is another great place to use an example from a Rose Etude. I'm going to use something that has a whole lot of just running 16th notes so that we can talk about how we will put them together in a practice session so that we're able to build to something. We always want to start slowly. The first thing I think is important to do is to look at the rhythms, play the rhythms as they are printed on the page, but very, very slowly. So I'm going to take, from the 32 Etudes by Rose, I'm going to take number 6 and just work through a couple of measures in a slow tempo as if I'm looking at it for the first time. If I wanted to make sure that I could play that cleanly up to tempo, I would want to train my fingers and my tongue what to do and precisely when to do it. The best way to do that is to alter the rhythm that you see on the page. I call it rhythmic practice, and I have a couple of little tricks. Using 16th notes is very easy because you have groups of 4. So what I like to do is first dot the rhythm and play it in a little bit of a swing. So it would sound like this. And then I would reverse it. This allows your fingers to spend a little extra time on certain notes and not so much time on the other notes. And then you reverse it, and you reverse that, which notes your fingers are spending more time on. Creating a little sense of muscle memory in your fingers and tendons. So what we're trying to get to is a point where you don't have to think about the notes. You don't have to read them one at a time, but your fingers just know where to go. So then I would group them a little bit more. A group of 3 to one held note, like this. And then reverse that out and go the other way. And then I would again play it in the correct rhythm. All the while, my metronome is clicking this tempo that I'm doing. You have to imagine it. I don't have it here. So now I'm going to click the metronome up. I'm going to do exactly the same thing. And so on and so forth, until I've worked it up to a tempo I want to play it. And so on through the entire etude. And I would work in chunks. say, a line of music at a time. And this etude book is generally about 4 bars. You work on that at a time, and in about a 20 to 30 minute period, you've worked your way through the etude, and you've slowly bumped up the pace. Maybe it takes you more than one sitting to get it to a performance level tempo, but it's quick because you've trained your fingers and your tongue and your air as to what they need to do to enable you to get through a passage like that. And then that carries through to everything you will ever have to work on. So I hope that was helpful, and I hope you will continue to join us on our trip. Thank you very much.